Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays to everybody in Australia. Get the day off work for Anzac Day. Get to kick back and relax. Today's Saturday for us, so some of us don't have to work. I do have to work, but it's fine. I'm sort of excited for today, so. And then we got the first case you'll love. The second case we got, you'll like. The third case we got is very interesting to me. You'll see. But hopefully it does not get too much. We'll see what happens with the third case. I liked it. Here we go. Here's number one. Top of the hour. I'm going to put the headliner first. Yep.
And for the record, please.
Lenora Whittington,
The record to reflect the defendant appears here in person for initial hearing. How old are you, ma'am?
46.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated college.
Do you have a bachelor's degree?
No, I have certifications.
So, the judge is just watching her actions, okay? Married with the documents that she filled out with a pen and handed to the judge. Those documents were the judge's first clue because of the way they were filled out. Now the judge is watching her in court.
Community health worker, I have a certified recovery specialist, I have a RAP facilitator, things like that.
All right. Do you read, write, and understand English?
Yes.
At the time these charges were filed, the state had an address for you in Cayuga. Is that still your address?
No.
What's your address?
4, and it's Kingman.
And the zip code in Kingman?
47952.
47952?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. What is your email address?
My phone is currently off.
Okay. We get those phone numbers because we'll send you a text message to tell you about upcoming court dates like your doctor's office does.
Okay.
You're welcome. Do you suffer from any mental illness?
I don't know if it counts. I have borderline personality disorder. That's probably like emotional deregulation more than a mental illness. I don't know. But doctor has me on serotonin right now, so
Okay.
regulate that.
Outside of borderline personality disorder, do you have any other diagnoses for mental illness or emotional disability?
No.
Okay. And so you're on serotonin. What agency is your doctor with?
Valley Professionals.
Is there anything about your diagnosis or your medications or lack of medications that might impact your ability to understand the proceedings today?
No.
Are you today under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or other intoxicating substances?
No.
Have you received a copy of the charging information?
No, I haven't.
So do you have a copy of it to give to her?
No, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
There's a copy of the charges, the OWI affidavit, and the level 6 felony act. You are charged in this case with 3 counts. Count 1 being operating a vehicle while intoxicated, endangering a person, a Class A misdemeanor. Count 2, operating a vehicle with a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance or its metabolite in the blood, a Class C misdemeanor. Count 3, resisting law enforcement, a Class A misdemeanor. Count 1 reads in relevant part as follows.
I don't see her resisting law enforcement. Come on, Judge. So, for us, when it's Memorial Day, we cook out. We crack open our grills and we grill burgers and hot dogs. So, what do you guys do on Anzac Day? What's a normal thing for you guys to do today? Come on, Michael. You have to answer yourself when you say that.
On about March 18th, 2026, in Montgomery County, state of Indiana, one Lenora Kim Whittington did operate a vehicle while intoxicated in such a manner that a person was endangered. Count 2, on or about March 18th, 2026, in Montgomery County, state of Indiana, one Lenora Kim Whittington did operate a vehicle with a controlled substance listed in Schedule 1 or 2 of Indiana Code 3548-2 or its metabolite in her blood. Count 3, on or about March 18, 2026, in Montgomery County, state of Indiana, One, Lenora Kim Whittington did knowingly or intentionally forcibly resist, obstruct, or interfere with Stephen Masters, CPD, a law enforcement officer, while said officer was lawfully engaged in his duties as a law enforcement officer. The charges are signed by Andrew Salter, Chief Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. Do you understand those charges?
Sure. I don't understand. I'm getting charged with the count 2 when my blood work isn't even back yet.
Well, I guess that's an assumption that you're making. I'm not sure if your blood work is back yet or not. But the state can charge what they want to charge. They have the burden of proving it beyond a reasonable doubt. So whether you agree with the charges or not, do you understand the charges?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, counts 1 and 3 are each Class A misdemeanors, each of which is punishable by up to 1 year in the Montgomery County Jail, a fine of up to $5,000. Count 2 is a Class C misdemeanor, which is punishable by up to 60 days in the Montgomery County Jail, a fine of up to $500. Counts 1 and 2 are classified as major misdemeanor traffic violations. A conviction for either of them would be reported to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and become part of a permanent driving record for you. If you accumulate 3 major misdemeanor traffic violation convictions on your driving record in any 10-year window of time, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles on its own would determine that you're an habitual traffic violator. Your driving privileges would be suspended for a period of 10 years. Your driving privileges in this case could be suspended for up to 2.5 years. If you're convicted of either count 1 or 2, if you're charged again with another OWI offense in the next 7 years, the state would file that new offense as a level 6 felony regardless of the other facts and circumstances. That has occurred in this case. That level 6 felony affidavit reads in relevant part as follows. Lenora Kim Whittington, with a date of birth 7/21/1979, has a prior conviction for operating while intoxicated as defined under Indiana Code 913-130, specifically operating a vehicle with an alcohol concentration equivalent to 0.15 or more as a Class A misdemeanor on or about the 20th day of January 2023 in Vermilion County, state of Indiana, under cause number 83 CO1 2207 CM93. This previous conviction occurred within the 7 years immediately preceding the date alleged in the information. That affidavit is signed by Andrew Salter, Chief Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, and subscribed in sworn to by Stacey Byers. Do you understand that affidavit?
Yes.
What that means is if you're convicted of either count 1 or count 2, if the state then also proves beyond a reasonable doubt that you have this prior conviction as alleged in the affidavit, your conviction in this case becomes a level 6 felony, which is punishable by a sentence to the Department of Corrections of not less than 6 months, not more than 2.5 years, with an advisory sentence of 1 year. It also carries with it a maximum fine of $10,000. Do you understand the possible penalties you're facing?
Yes.
And you were present today when your constitutional rights were read, is that correct?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure which part is. I've been to court before. Yes, I kind of know, but I'm not sure which part that is. I'm going to say yes, right? Because you read them.
Well, I read the rights to everybody, but do you recall having your rights read to you today?
No, I don't really, but I mean, because we came in kind of later, but I don't know.
All right, I'm going to read them to you again. Do you understand your rights, ma'am?
Yes.
With respect, you're welcome. With respect to your right to counsel, do you wish to be represented by an attorney?
Yes, I do.
Do you intend to hire someone, or are you asking for a public defender?
I asked for a code.
And did you get the paperwork filled out? And if you hand that to the deputy, please. We'll find that you qualify for a public defender. We'll notify the public defender administrator, who will make an appropriate appointment of counsel for you. Your attorney will be in touch with you shortly. You're under a court order to maintain contact with their office, communicate with them as they direct, and assist in the preparation of your case. You understand that order?
Yes, I do.
Court's going to enter a preliminary plea of not guilty for you. It becomes a permanent plea in 20 days unless after consulting with an attorney you decide to enter a different plea. The court's also obligated to set this matter for an omnibus date somewhere between 45 and 75 days from today's date. Court will set the matter for omnibus and status hearing June 9th at 9 a.m. And I'm going to write these dates down for you. Okay. For a jury trial, August 25th at 8:30 a.m. Absent further order from the court, that's when you're ordered to be back. Court has made a finding of probable cause and is inclined to suspend your driving privileges effective immediately. You have the right to request specialized driving privileges while this matter is pending. However, because the officer's sworn signature indicates that you refused a chemical test, the only way you would qualify is if you agree to use an ignition interlock device for any vehicle that you might be operating. It appears, though, Ms. Whittington, that you don't have a vehicle.
I mean, I do, but it's, I don't know how I still have it. I haven't made one payment since 2024.
You stand and raise your right hand to be sworn. We'll take some evidence from you. Stand, please, and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
Her vehicle is a 2021. So it's not that old. She hasn't made a payment since 2024. That's crazy.
The truth.
Yes, I do.
You may be seated. Please state your name again for the record.
Lenore Whittington,
Whittington, what kind of vehicle do you have?
2021 Honda Accord.
Why did you say you don't have any vehicles?
Because I don't really know when they're gonna come repo it. They should have came a long time ago, really, because I've made one payment. The last payment I made was in December of 2024. And I still have the car. And I don't know why they haven't, but, so I still drive it.
How much do you owe on it?
Oh, 27,000. I paid, well, I owe 30,000, it's 27 that I paid for it.
How much is it worth if you try to sell it?
I bet you it's probably
Yes,
not
I
worth
guess.
15 grand, because I
Absolutely.
since wrecked it. And now I do have, it's all legal, it's got legal plates, legal insurance, it's all legal. But at the time when I wrecked it, it wasn't, it didn't have any insurance, so I didn't turn it in.
Insurance.
So, hence why the initial stop was a headlight out, because they're like $700 for a headlight on that car. So then, my turn signals malfunctioned due to that. And when he did pull me over,
Headlights and turn signal don't work.
I had a paper plate in the window because I just.
We're not going to talk about the facts of the case today because you.
No, I just say that's.
Ma'am, please don't talk while I'm talking. You have a right against self-incrimination, so whatever you say can be used against you. Mr. Salter does not represent your interests.
I know.
I don't want you to violate your own right against self-incrimination. I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case until you talk to your attorney.
Okay.
Do you have any personal property with a value greater than $100, such as any electronics, collectibles, appliances, jewelry, anything like that?
No, I don't.
Do you have any expectation of receiving any assets, cash, or property of any kind, such as an inheritance, lottery winnings, income tax refund, anything like that?
No idea.
Did you file a tax return for 2024 or 2025, I guess?
I need to, no, I haven't yet. I'm going to.
She's working on it.
If it is
Judge.
return, it will be due to the ION anyway from like a year ago.
For what?
I mean, because I made too much money. So I owed in, I didn't get a return that year and I owed in more. Well, I didn't pay it in. I just,
So you don't have any monthly expenses at all? You don't pay for a cell phone or anything?
I mean, yes, I do. I don't pay for it. No, that's not functional. Somebody will pay it eventually and it'll have it back on and, or I will. I mean,
Somebody will just eventually pay it for me, Judge.
I don't know. My sister tends to take care of me.
Okay, and so is she providing all of your food and everything?
I don't know.
Okay, how are you eating? Okay, who's providing your food?
I mean, sometimes a friend.
Okay, and how did you get here today?
Well, I drove, so
She drove to court.
And are you looking for employment?
I had a job. And then I got arrested. And I lost the job.
Right, and so where were you working?
Give me a second.
Judge has had enough.
Holiday Inn.
At what location?
But highway.
Here in Crawfordsville?
Mhm.
So Ms. Whittington, if you were tested today, are you going to be clean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like. I was clean for something.
All right. Your behavior's a little erratic. That's why I'm asking.
Do you know what borderline personality disorder is? Do you know what it is? I'll give you a call, actually.
We're gonna have you step out with port security and submit to an instant drug screen that'll determine how to go today.
Okay. Now, I need to call. You need to call somebody. Oh, wait, she needs to make sure you do some you should lose. I wish you'd understand what it was before you.
I feel like she might already be my life coach. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna have to check my phone messages.
They be erratic.
And what's your name?
No, you should be shut up.
This is 54D01 2604 F6912, State of Indiana, Alicia Beach. The record should reflect the defendant appears here in person for initial hearing. How old are you, ma'am?
I'll be 42 on Monday.
What's your date of birth?
4/21/85.
You'll be 41.
41.
I just gave you a year. See how that works?
Yeah, that's count.
How far did you go in school?
Some college did not end up with a degree.
Okay. Do you read, write, and understand English?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time these charges were filed, the state had an address for you, 39.
7-1.
Is she scared right now that she's also gonna get a drug test? I don't know.
Do you suffer from any mental illness?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me about that?
Bipolar, borderline personality disorder, anxiety, social anxiety, PTSD, manic depressant. I think that covers the majority of them.
Are you currently under a doctor's care?
Yes, ma'am.
What agency is your doctor with?
IURNet.
Are you currently prescribed any medications?
I'm on Graybar, Eusporin, Adderall.
Is there anything about your diagnosis or your medications or lack of medications that might impact your ability to understand the proceedings today?
I don't believe so.
If at some point you don't understand, just get my attention so we can explain things to you.
Yes.
Are you today under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or other intoxicating substances?
No,
Have you received a copy of the charging information?
I have not.
Okay, let's step up here. I'll give this to you. You are charged in this case with 2 counts. Count 1 being possession of methamphetamine, a level 6 felony. Count 2 being possession of paraphernalia, a class C misdemeanor. Count 1 reads in relevant part as follows. On or about April 2nd, 2026, in Montgomery County, State of Indiana, one Alicia Ann Beach did knowingly possess pure or adulterated methamphetamine without a prescription or order of a practitioner acting in the scope of their professional practice. Count 2, on or about April 2nd, 2026, in Montgomery County, State of Indiana, one Alicia Ann Beach did knowingly or intentionally possess an instrument, device, or other object, specifically a glass smoking residue with off-white residue that the defendant intended to use for introducing into the defendant's body a controlled substance. I anticipate the state's probably going to amend that count because it doesn't make sense. The charges are filed by Greg Miller, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. Do you understand the charges that you're facing?
Yes, ma'am.
Count 1 is a level 6 felony. It's punishable by a sentence to the Department of Corrections of not less than 6 months, not more than 2 1/2 years, with an advisory sentence of 1 year. It also carries with it a maximum fine of $10,000. Count 2 is a class C misdemeanor, punishable by up to 60 days in the Montgomery County Jail, a fine of up to $500. Do you understand the possible penalties you're facing?
Yes.
And you were present today when your constitutional rights were read, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
Mm.
With respect to your right to counsel, do you wish
Is that a soccer game? Is that what you're talking about?
to be represented by an attorney?
I do
And are you asking for a public defender?
currently.
That's okay. Did you get the paperwork filled out?
Yes.
Can you bring that up, please? Thank you. Thanks. Ma'am, if you could stand and raise your right hand to be sworn. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated. Could you say your name again for the record?
Alicia Beach.
Ms. Beach, do your children live with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you're not paying for their care at this point? It looks like they're...
I cover my youngest son's cell phone bill and part of his insurance. He pays part of it.
Okay. So this Dodge Journey, you say it's worth zero, but it
It has over 300,000 miles on it. I still owe $3,500 on it. I honestly do not believe there's any value, and the transmission is currently out.
yeah, so it has scrap value if nothing else. So would you say $300 to
I was
$500?
originally about 300 is scrapped.
Not if she owes $3,500 on a judge. No.
Okay, and what about the Dodge Grand Caravan?
Probably 300 to 500 as well. It's got some issues on top of it.
Okay.
Both of them still owe money, and they're both up for repos.
How much is your paycheck after taxes and deductions?
I don't remember. I want to say it was roughly about 620.
Thank you for the cheers, Monica.
The court will find that you qualify for a public defender. Will notify the public defender administrator who will make an appropriate appointment of counsel for you. Your attorney will be in touch with you shortly. You're under a court order to maintain contact with their office, communicate with them as they direct and assist in the preparation of your case. Do you understand that order?
Yes.
Court's going to enter a preliminary plea of not guilty for you. It becomes a permanent plea in 20 days unless after consulting with an attorney you decide to enter a different plea. Court's also obligated to set this matter for an omnibus date somewhere between 45 and 75 days from today's date. We'll set the matter for omnibus and status hearing on June 9th at 9 a.m. for a jury trial August 25th at 8:30 a.m. Absent further order from the court, that's when you're ordered to be back. I'm going to give you this little slip of paper that also has the contact information for the public defender's office. If you haven't heard from them in about a week, you might want to contact their office and find out who your attorney is. You're going to want to stay in touch with them because it takes quite a while for the state to get lab results. So if the state's sending anything off to be tested to confirm what they believe the substance is, it's going to take a while. So you may not actually have to.
But, so the state takes weeks to get their lab results back, but the judge just sent the other lady out to get instantly tested. Just
You're in court, but you'll only know that if you're in touch with your attorney. All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Anything further, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. That's all.
except for one piece, Bren. One piece is better. Just is.
All for today. Thank you. You're welcome. Have a good day. We are back on record in 54-D01, 2603 F6759, State of Indiana versus Lenora Whittington. Ms. Whittington, did you step out with Force Security and submit to an instant drug screen?
Yes.
The results?
Positive for meth and amphetamine.
Ms. Whittington, as I indicated earlier, your behavior in court has appeared to be erratic today. The right.
Guys, don't go to court hopped up on meth. It's really just not a good idea. Now, if JK were here, he would say, don't take legal advice from me. So I'm going to say that this is medical advice. Don't go to court hopped up on meth.
Writing on your paperwork is indicative further that you are under the influence. When you appear in court under the influence, you interfere with the court's ability to conduct its proceedings. The court will find you in contempt of court. Court will remand you to the custody of the Montgomery County Jail for 30 days.
I'm out, Jimmy. I'm out.
What?
Can I speak, please?
Judge, you're sending her to jail for driving to court when she's not allowed to drive because of her DUIs? Driving to court hopped up on meth? You're sending her to jail for that? Get out of here. It's how you use it. I heard, Bren, I heard it's how you use it, right?
Your Honor.
We will set the matter for an initial hearing on May 4th at 9:30.
May I speak, please?
You may not.
I am
What would you like to?
Terry, Terry. Just give that to your sister for her birthday. You package that advice up and give it to your sister, and you'll be the hero.
I have quit doing all drugs. That's why when I got arrested, I got kicked out. I went to the Oxford House in Fort Wayne. I got away from here. I got kicked out. And I came back here. I was staying in the Comfort Inn, and I was getting put on Suboxone, and I was going to restart. Okay? And then the jail thing happened last time, so I didn't have a relapse again. I was trying not to have a relapse. That's why I got put on Suboxone. And I swear I've quit. I swear I have quit. I don't want to go. I was just getting my job back today.
She was getting a job today, Judge. Today. She quit right after that last dose 10 minutes ago.
And my erraticness is part of the borderline personality disorder.
The judge said enough and cut the feed. She went to jail. I don't know if she's going to do all of that time for contempt. You know how contempt goes. Sometimes the judge calls them back the next day after they've sobered up and then they get out. But I don't know with this judge. I don't know. I haven't seen her enough to know. All right, now we're going to hit a few accents. So everybody in Australia, just breathe through it. You'll be fine. It's not long.
I have to first go through a process with you where I ask you a series of questions. If at any point during this process you don't understand my questions or you need some more time to talk to Mr. McLaughlin, just let me know and I'll give you all the time you need within reason. Do you understand everything so far?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you give here today shall be the truth?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Ms. Walker, do you understand that you are pleading guilty to counts 1 and 2 under the First Offender Act?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the sentence recommendation of 10 years on probation on count 1, 5 years on probation on count 2, fine, and all these other conditions? Do you understand all of that?
Yes, sir.
And is that what you agreed to plead guilty to
Wait till you see what she did, guys.
before you came out here to the podium?
Yes, sir.
Before the court can decide or determine whether or not to accept this plea and this recommendation, the court must first determine that you are making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of all of your rights, that you know and understand what you're doing, and that you're doing it of your own free will. So it's vitally important that you speak up if something happens that you don't understand. First of all, as Mr. McLaughlin has already stated, these are both felonies. Count 1 has a maximum sentence of up to 10 years, and count 2 has a maximum sentence of up to 5 years for a total.
You should always support your local roosters because they wake everybody up in the morning. So, okay, a rooster supporter.
Total of a possible sentence of up to 15 years. Now, that's important for lots of reasons, but one of which is Mr. McLaughlin indicates you wish to offer this plea under the First Offender Act. The court does advise you that if a first offender probationer violates the terms of this probation and the court later enters an adjudication of guilty, the court may then impose any sentence permitted by law for the 2 offenses you're about to plead guilty to. At a probation revocation and adjudication of guilty hearing, a first offender probationer may then be resentenced to a sentence greater than what you get here today up to the maximum amount allowed by law, which I just told you. Do you understand that, Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir.
And you still wish to proceed with a First Offender Act plea, is that correct, Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. McLaughlin?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Walker, are you pleading guilty under the First Offender Act to count 1, which is furnishing prohibited items to inmates, and count 2, violation of oath of office by a public officer, because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, sir. She was a prison guard, okay? And she was smuggling drugs into the prison in Georgia, where the prisons are unbelievable to begin with. So, I always had an issue with them sending police, lawyers, like prosecutors, detectives, prison guards to jail, to prison when they break the law, because it's just outstandingly dangerous for them there. You know, they have so many people they put in prison who are pissed off that they're in prison. and then they broke the law, now they have to go to prison. I really think for anybody who works, who has a job like that, they should go to a separate prison. I just think the risk to their safety just is too great, because everybody's mad at them. But she was a prison guard that the prisoners probably love, so she should be fine.
All right, Mr. McLaughlin, see that her plea gets entered. Facts of the case, please.
On or about the date in the indictment, Ms. Walker was a correctional officer at Cleveland Correctional Facility, and one day when she reported to work, she did have on her person packages that were filled with marijuana for intent to be distributed to the inmates, and that was also a violation of the oath that she took to work there.
Mr. McLaughlin, anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor, we just asked the court to accept the recommendation and stipulate to a factual basis.
Ms. Walker, do you have any questions about anything that's happened up to this point?
No, sir.
Is there anything that you would like to say? You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
No, sir.
Very well, the court finds that the plea has been freely and voluntarily entered, that there is a factual basis for the plea, and the court will accept the plea and the recommendation as was stated. Count 1 would be 10 years on probation, $1,000 fine. Count 2, 5 years probation concurrent, $500 fine. And be served on drug and alcohol. Fourth Amendment waiver conditions. You have a period of 4 years to file a habeas corpus petition from the date the sentence becomes final, 30 days to file a notice of appeal or a motion for new trial. Do you possess a concealed carry permit for a firearm?
No, sir.
And would be required to surrender your post certification if not already done so, and be banned from all DOC properties. You'll need to meet with probation here. They'll process you.
That was an interesting answer. She doesn't have a license to carry a firearm, but she's a prison guard. I guess they can't. Okay, now I don't know. I dated a prison guard too, I should know. They don't carry guns. I guess they have the guns locked up. And if they need them, then they have to run and get the guns. And they have tasers. But it just seems weird that she's a prison guard and she doesn't have a license to carry.
Drew, good luck to you, man. All right, let's get on the record. Next up is position 12 on the Wheeler calendar. It is case number 25CR057, State versus Michelle Marsh Greer. That's you, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, very good. And I've been handed up a plea sheet here. You have a negotiated plea, Mr. McLaughlin?
We do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ms. Greer is going to enter a guilty plea to one count of theft by taking based on the amount or the subject matter. It's a 1 to 10 with a maximum fine of $100,000. If the court accepts this recommendation, she'll be sentenced to serve 10 years on probation, pay a $1,000 fine, have drug and alcohol conditions, Fourth Amendment waiver, and I believe there's 180 days being at request for restitution to be left open, or determination of restitution to be left open for that time.
You said terminate upon all of that being resolved? Is that what you said? What was the last thing you said?
180 days for restitution.
Restitution 180, got it.
To be determined.
Okay, I got you.
And Your Honor, if it's written on there and I didn't say it, that's right, not what I said. Because Ms. Cameron did these plea sheets and I tried to memorize it real fast.
I got you. Well, it's not on here, that's why I'm asking. The restitution is, but I thought you said something about terminate early.
I did not. Your
Okay, it's a little difficult for me to hear. I know
I can't
it is
do
for you
anything.
too, but.
Yeah, this courtroom is the worst for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have to blast it up loud enough for everybody to hear. But all right, Ms. Greer, it appears that you and Mr. McLaughlin and Ms. Cameron in the Public Defender's Office have been discussing your case with the district attorney and have reached this joint recommendation, or a negotiated plea as we call it. I'm going to have a lot of questions for you in just a moment, but so far, has everyone said what you expected them to say?
Yes, sir.
Before I can get to the disposition phase of your case, I have to first go through a process with you where I ask you a series of questions to make sure that you understand all the details of this plea, but just as important, that you understand all of the rights that you'll be giving up if you complete this guilty plea today. Ms. Greer, are you pleading guilty to the one count of theft by taking because you are in fact guilty.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. McLaughlin, see that the plea gets entered.
I'm sorry.
Her guilty plea has been entered.
Facts of the case, please.
On about the date in the indictment, the victim in this case had taken his car over to Cody Marsh's house or shop or whatever to get repaired. And while his car was there, the defendant here did take the car, and that is the basis for the theft by taking.
So you take your car into her to get fixed to her shop, and she stole the car? That's rude. You trust your service providers.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor, we stipulate it's factual basis, just ask the court to accept the recommendation.
Ms. Greer, do you have any questions about anything that's happened up to this point? Is there anything that you'd like to say? You don't have to, but you can if you want to. Very well, the court finds that the plea has been freely and voluntarily entered, that there is a factual basis for the plea, and the court will accept the guilty plea and the recommendation, which would be 10 years serve on probation with a $1,000 fine, plus the add-ons that go with it, be served under drug and alcohol and Fourth Amendment waiver conditions. You have a period of 4 years to file a habeas corpus petition from the date the sentence becomes final, 30 days to file a notice of appeal or a motion for new trial. Do you possess a concealed carry permit for a firearm? And restitution will be left open for 180 days. You'll need to meet with probation here. They'll process you through. Good luck to you, man.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand why she would steal the car. I mean, they handed her the keys to fix the car. So it's not like the police was never going to find out who took the car. And now she's on probation for 10 years, which is crazy to me because Grand Theft Auto is supposed to be, when I was younger, Grand Theft Auto was minimum 5 years, I think. No stealing cars. All right, here we go. We're going to finish the stream with one more case.
You're on the record for cause number 20D022602ES6.
With a new judge.
This is the estate of Walter Santos Ramirez Ortiz. This is a hearing on a motion to appoint a personal representative. And let's start with attorneys and who we have here today.
Can we have everyone come to the council table, please?
Yeah, and then could I have any of the parties come to the council table? Any of the parties? Just any of the heirs?
Want to sit up where you could be heard? Yes, okay.
Go near a microphone.
Exactly. Horse thieves, they didn't get jail. If you stole someone's horse, you didn't go to jail for that. No. It was way worse.
But let's start with attorneys first.
Yes. My name is John William Davis Jr., and I am attorney for Carlos A. Ramirez Ortiz, a brother of the decedent. And I believe Mr. Carlos A. Ramirez Ortiz is present by WebEx.
Mr. Ramirez, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you unmute? All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you. Okay. All right, and you are Carlos Ramirez, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're the petitioner, you represented by Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. And who else do we have?
Elmer?
Can you pull the microphone closer? Thank you. And what was your last name, Elmer?
Ortiz Ramirez.
Y Adolfo, este también, Adolfo.
And what is your relation to Walter?
Oh, brothers.
Brother? And who are you, man?
Nelly Ortiz Ramirez.
What was that? Say it again.
Nelly's?
Nelly Ortiz Ramirez.
Nelly?
Yeah.
I have I had an aunt named Nelly.
Sí, Adolfo.
And then what was it, Ortiz Ramirez?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your relation to Walter?
Brother.
Sister. Sister? And then we
I
have
think we're
other
up to
people
3.
here. Are they any relation or?
Brother.
They're all brothers?
Yeah.
Can you come up and identify yourself? And then who are you? I haven't sworn anyone in yet.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out who everybody is.
My name is Dilson Ortiz.
Is what?
Dilson Ortiz.
Dixon?
Dilson. Yeah,
How do you spell that?
Yo soy pero de la tía de Tenajal. But Dilson. Tía.
D-I-L-S-O-N.
Yeah.
I-L-S-O-N.
Ilson? Dilson?
Yeah. Ortiz.
And you're a brother?
Yeah, brother.
And then who are you?
Yeah. Oh.
Nuria Ortiz.
Gloria?
Nuria.
Nuria?
N-U-R-I-A.
Nuria?
Yeah.
Nuria Ortiz.
Nuriel?
Nuria Ortiz.
Okay. With a L or an A?
Nope. N-U-R-I-A.
All right, Nuria. Okay, and you were a sister?
My sister.
Adolfo Ortiz Ramirez.
All right, and then what about you back there? Who are you? You're nobody?
Look it up.
And then Judge, Mr. Ramirez has someone else with him as well.
Adolfo.
And Mr. Ramirez, who is that with you?
It's my other brother, Adolfo Ortiz Ramirez.
Adolfo?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's also a brother of Walter, is that correct?
Yes.
And then who are we missing?
Walter has a lot of siblings.
There's one we're missing, correct?
Jose Ramirez.
JD Ortiz.
JD?
JD. J-E-I-D-Y.
Is that another sibling?
Yes. She is, as far as I know, in Usulután, El Salvador. We're also missing Carlos A. Ramirez Ortiz, Carlos Ortiz, the father of the decedent, who resides in Usulután, El Salvador. The mother is deceased.
All right, anybody else?
That's it. Those
Any
would,
other siblings that we're not? Okay.
Judge, we have Jose listed. I believe one of the siblings said that already. It's also mine.
It was in YouTube, in the chat box, at the top. If it says top chat, you don't see all the messages. You only see what YouTube thinks you will be interested in. So you miss a lot. So if you make sure that you're on live chat, you don't miss messages, but you really do anyway. But that's because YouTube sucks.
There's also a Jose who's not here, is that correct?
No, hey.
He's a brother,
Yeah, brother.
and he lives locally, is that correct?
yeah.
I lost count of how many siblings there are. I'm going to go with 10.
All right, so based on some of the conversations that have been happening in court, it sounds like that a lot of the people here have a difficult time with English as the first language. Is that fair to say? That we need an interpreter?
Yes. Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see what we can accomplish today.
We need 10 interpreters so that you can keep court moving. All of them simultaneously translating.
Without an interpreter, because there's some issues from the petition that need to be addressed. We need to at least maybe put some emergency issues in place. I'm assuming, right, Mr. Davis, or at least get some questions answered.
Yeah.
So let's at least start with that and we can go from there. So Mr. Davis, why don't you tell me a little bit about the filing this and what we need, where we're at so we can at least get this case moving.
Yes, my client, Carlos, the brother, paid for a considerable amount of money for funeral expenses for Walter. Walter's body was transported to Usulután, El Salvador, and there was an additional funeral there and the burial there. And he has filed today a claim in the estate. And I don't know if you've got that on your screen or not.
It's showing up.
Okay.
Okay, so it's filed.
Yeah. And so, being a creditor of the estate, he wanted to get an estate open so that he could file his claim within the 9 months after the decedent's death, and that has happened. But
And when did Walter Santos Ramirez Ortiz, when did he pass away?
July 19, 2025.
Okay. All right, so that's happened, and then the claim's been filed on time. Okay.
Right.
So 4 plus. Yeah, so within, 2 weeks early. Okay.
Yeah, we should have had it sooner, but we've been discussing
Right,
it.
because it would have been July, it should have been, the 9 months would have been July.
Be April 19th.
April. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
So my client resides in Los Angeles, and this probably has to be a supervised estate. I know that a client can, or a creditor can be appointed the personal representative of the estate. And I actually have a very old case. It's interesting. Bowen versus Stewart, 128 Ind 512, 1891, where the family just wanted to do it all informally, but the treasurer of the county filed to become the administrator of the estate, and that was upheld on appeal. It's just kind of interesting. I don't think it solves our problem at all, but it's interesting. The creditors of the estate, well, first of all, there's in it real estate. Elmer, who is here, showed me a document that showed that there was about $34,000 on deposit at Chase Bank. My client, Carlos, believes that there are additional deposits, and that maybe somebody has gotten into one of these accounts and taken money out of it.
You got Thor. Yay.
So we don't know for sure how that's gone down yet.
So they were able to take some money out of the estate. One of them siblings that you're seeing or not seeing already took some money out.
I have made inquiry of First State Bank to see if First State Bank would serve as personal representative of the estate. And Patty Yates.
And I never heard of that before, but it makes sense. And there's no reason why I would have heard of it before. They wanted the bank to be the manager of the estate.
Got back to me and declined. First State Bank is the owner of 2 mortgages on the property, which I guess I haven't described them in any petition that's before the court yet, but it would appear that the assessed value of the property,
I actually haven't shown my husband in a while. I have to find him. I'm going to show my husband in a minute.
today would provide a net amount available to pay claims and provide probably some minimal amount of distribution to all of the heirs of the estate. The heirs would be Walter's father, Carlos Ortiz, as I said, in Usulatan, and the brothers and sisters whom you've identified today, I think. First State Bank declined. I spoke with Matt Yakey, who's got experience in the administration of estates, to see if he could serve as an individual. And he declined. It occurred to me, well, I knew that Everence Inc., has trust powers, and so I made inquiry of Everence. But then I took a look in the cases that we have, and I don't see that they're doing any.
Dr. Collar Jessup
Hi, honey. Okay. All right.
began
All right.
research and development.
Shh. I love my husband. He talks so much. Okay. All right. Listen to what this judge says, because the guy's right. That was my husband, remember, guys? I haven't played him in a long time.
Estate work at all, and in fact, they did decline to take that. And but there is an entity. I don't know, Judge, if you know Walker Resources.
Yay,
Have you heard of them before? Walker Resources has been in business for, I'd say, quite some time, and they are professional guardians. I would expect that maybe a lot of that, their work would be with cases in Superior 6 now, because that's where the guardianships are, I think. Or do you have guardianship too, or not?
Most of that's in 6.
Yeah.
So if it's like an end of life decision, that falls to me. If it's a probate guardianship.
Oh.
So somebody, like, that's my subsequent hearing I have to date 3 is somebody who, like a health call from a hospital.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have general guardianships.
Okay,
Most of them be in 6.
But it's the same kind of thing. They would get appointed to manage the estate of someone who's living but not capable of managing his or her assets anymore. And I think Walker Resources has used frequently Paul Esch to do that work. I think Walker Resources gave a serious consideration to it. They consulted their attorney and then said, no, we don't want to do this either. So that's as far as I've gotten. It occurs to me.
Fine. All right. Not your street or your phone number. Fine. But feel free to throw in your credit card information. It's fine. Nothing bad can happen. Kelly, thank you so much. Thank you.
That I could make inquiries probably of like Citibank or First Source Bank. I don't think it makes any sense to try to get a hold of any of the national banks like Chase or Key Bank or something like that, because they don't have local trust, department.
So how long does it take to find a manager of your estate? Because we're going up on what, 9 months now? The funeral was 9 months ago, and they still don't have anybody controlling the estate that's going to be passed internationally to all of these siblings, and somebody is already spending money from it.
Here.
Okay, well, do we know how much the rough approximate value of the house?
Yeah, well, I had the assessed value was about, I should have this, I guess. Oh, I could, just a minute.
I don't know if it's 1 million or 100,000. I don't know.
The real estate is assessed at $289,500.
Okay, 200,000.
The JP Morgan securities investment account, had $32,672.37 in it. That's what Elmer showed me.
And then do you know what the mortgage balances are?
I do not know what the mortgage balances are. The mortgages were taken out in 2020. One of them was payable in 15 years at 7% per annum. And that one was about $24,790 was the original principal on that. And the original principal amount payable on the other mortgage, which was a 30-year mortgage, was $198,320. And its interest rate was 5.25%, but both of those interest rates were adjustable. So you don't know what those interest rates are today.
And you don't know if at this time they're current or not?
It's my understanding that they are not, and that First State Bank has referred the mortgages for foreclosure. But I think the statute requires the mortgagee.
So there's 10 siblings. And there's a home worth $200,000 that has what, we'll just guess, $50,000 in mortgages on it that are in default.
To file a claim in the estate. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I don't, I've got a lot of experience with this, but I don't know how that works. William Lavery is somebody who has worked for First State Bank as their foreclosure attorney. And in fact, he, in another estate I had, he did file a claim in the estate on behalf of the bank. And, after the real estate was sold, and the mortgage was paid, released the claim in the estate. There is a stay against mortgage foreclosure if
people were getting injured, Michael. Now we can't have good things.
Personal representative is actively trying to sell the real estate. So Lavery may be waiting. The last I looked, there was no action that had been filed and no claim filed in this estate. So I called Mr. Lavery and he invited me to call back, but I haven't yet gotten back to him. So.
Okay. All right, I think that's a good start for a discussion. So, those of you online and those at this table.
What I don't understand is two things, and a whole bunch more, but all the siblings have one lawyer? Wait. No. There is no lawyer there. The lawyer that's talking is over at the other table. So, what? Who does the lawyer represent? What is the lawyer's client? And who's the respondent? Hi, workshop.
Well, can all of you raise your right hands for me? Or I can see it. you affirm under penalties of perjury to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's just go around. And I understand that English is hard for you, so we'll take it slow. And I'm not going to make any permanent decision today, okay? But we need to figure some things out. So what's going on here is an estate has been moved to be opened, which is the proper thing to do in a case similar like this. There's been a claim filed in the estate for the funeral expenses, and there's some assets that need to be dealt with, okay? So I guess the first step is it sounds like your brother Walter did not have a will. And so without a will, this falls into what is called an estate, meaning which is a legal term meaning that Walter died without a will. Okay, now if there is a will, somebody needs to bring it forward quick. But if there's not, the law says there's certain things that happen, and generally it works. In general, there's exceptions, but generally creditors get paid, and then after that, the assets go to the heirs, meaning the relatives, depending on where they fall in relation to Walter. Okay, so if Walter has no children, it goes to parents and siblings based on the statute. Okay, and it gets divided evenly. But the first step is figuring out where the estate is at and getting the assets identified and getting the claims paid. Okay, does that make sense? And so the first thing we need there is we need somebody to be responsible for the estate, somebody that can administer the estate. What Mr. Davis, one of the things that he mentioned, which he's absolutely correct, this does happen in this court, is that a creditor can file to open an estate, and a creditor can actually be a personal representative of the estate. It's happened a lot of times when I've seen it in court, Mr. Davis. It's been like a senior living.
That's just crazy, isn't it? That's crazy.
Facility where everybody's died, and the senior living home is the only interested party left because they were administering the person's assets in their life. And that's happened. I've had that 2 or 3 times just since in the last year. Okay. So that, I think there's plenty of authority under the statute where the problem is
it's Bill.
Carlos, you're out in California, so it's pretty hard for you to administer an estate out in California.
Yeah.
So the thought would be to get a third party to be the administrator, and to find Mr. Davis what he has laid out. If you were not following along, is that he's not found somebody locally yet that would be willing to do it, even if I appointed them. I might be able to find some people as a judge that people tend to, if a judge asks or appoints somebody to be a personal representative, they will do it. Okay, but to the extent, I guess the first question is though, is I want to hear about what your thoughts are about who could administer the estate. But it sounds like we probably need some third party. But equally, I guess this sounds like the major asset of this estate. So the major income of the estate is the home. So who's currently living in the home?
Okay, so I think one of them are living in the home, but they don't pay anything. So they have a house that's mortgaged to the gills. They do have that $32,000 investment account, but there's like 10 of them. And now we have one of them that lives there that is not paying rent.
You are?
Me and my children. Me and my babies.
Okay, and your name again?
Elmer.
Elmer. So you're currently living in the home. Are you paying the mortgage?
I tried, but bank say you need maybe a state to do that.
Which you didn't open an estate. So, which is why we're here today.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have the money to make payments? So let's assume.
Yes.
So until we get this sorted out, Okay, so until we make any major decisions, are you able to make the mortgage payments?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, for step one is I want to get this property preserved. But we need to have a hearing on evidence. I'll need an interpreter here. So who understands English enough to at least understand what I've been talking about today?
Right there, but.
Okay, but do you understand what what I'm trying to accomplish today?
I understand like 80%.
Okay, what about your sibling?
I thought I understood English, and I don't know what you're trying to accomplish today, Judge, because you haven't really said it yet. You did just say a second ago you need to preserve the estate or the house. I can't remember. It was a whole minute ago. I can't remember that far back. But you didn't actually say what we're here for yet.
So they understand enough?
¿Cuánto hablan inglés?
Eso dice,
Zero.
How about you, Carlos? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, and how about your brother with you?
He knows to speak any English.
Okay. It's okay. Look, if this were a hearing in Spanish, I would need an interpreter too. So
Okay.
It's okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. I don't think I can appoint you as the personal rep, but can I give you some sort of limited authority to deal with the mortgage company? Would I be able to, at least until we have a full hearing, to give you the power to?
Judge, are you asking one of the siblings if you can do this? Because you're the judge. They would ask you if you have the power to do it. They don't know. I don't know. I have no idea if you have the power to do that. I don't know the law.
To deal with the mortgage and for Elmer to pay you to pay the mortgage, Mr. Davis?
Oh, he's talking to the
I don't know if you
lawyer.
want that power.
Okay, that makes way more sense. He's talking to the lawyer who should maybe know the law.
I mean, I can try it. I can call somebody, get somebody appointed.
I think that's what we prefer, but if you're thinking about that, I think there is such a thing as a special administrator. And I think we had one in some other case that I was involved in illo tempore, a long time ago. So I would like to take a look at that statute that authorizes that to see if that would work, if you want me to try to look at that and get back to you if I may.
If the judge assigns the lawyer to be the boss of everything, the lawyer is just going to bill as much as everything is worth. That lawyer is going to rob them blind. Wait, but I'm usually right, Brad. Most of the time, except for that one thing I did back in '97.
The way that I see it is, and maybe I'm wrong, Elmer, is if at least you're paying the mortgage, it's no different than paying rent. I mean, that at least buys time for you guys to figure out what to do with the estate, right? I mean, because then you could stay in the house while we get it all figured out. Which, if you want to stay there, it gives you time to figure out a way. You take over the mortgage and buy it as part of the estate? You know what I'm saying? Where we're going with that. I mean, I don't know if is your intent to stay there or.
Yeah, but that won't work, Judge, because they're in default. They haven't paid the mortgage because they weren't able to pay the mortgage because the bank said the estate had to pay the mortgage. So there's a back mortgage that has to be paid. Oh, let's just not talk about '97. Can we just not?
So yeah.
Okay, because then you'll need to start figuring that out, because that's something that.
Old brother, he say, it's okay, give it to me, but I don't know. But Jose not here, you need to sign something, paper.
Yeah, I mean, so that's part of this too, is if all of the siblings can agree on like a family settlement agreement where you all agree this is how we're going to handle the estate, that's another way to handle this, in order to make sure Carlos gets repaid, and that your siblings are fine with whatever share they get after all the debts are taken out. But it sounds like there's enough in the estate to make sure everything gets paid for. And then each of your siblings, it seems like based on the initial numbers that Mr. Davis proposed, that each of the family members would be entitled to at least a little bit extra money from the estate. So, but if they decided to waive their claims or they decided they didn't want those.
What does a little bit extra money mean to you, Judge? How much do they get?
Claims, that's something that they could do, but I can't do it here without an interpreter because I can't explain that to them. But I do need to get a temporary personal rep in or a special administrator in because I don't want you to lose the house to foreclosure because that hurts everybody. And it also affects Carlos's ability to file to get paid back for his claim. Do we have everybody's correct addresses on the record? Maybe we should go through deeply at the court here. So, Mr. Davis, is it? Are you doing? I don't.
What are the chances that 97 is such a bad year for all of us that we remember 97? That's crazy.
This is kind of a tough one, so I'm asking for your thoughts. So it seems like the next step here for me is to appoint a personal representative. Is that correct?
If you can find one, we'll certainly.
If I can find one, I have some ideas of people who could potentially do it.
Okay.
But I want to talk.
I mean, he's a judge, so he can just order someone to go do that. You go clean my car. Court order.
With them about it.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I mean, we were looking for somebody who would voluntarily assume this responsibility, and we could just suggest that to the court.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, but I'd also want somebody too that I feel comfortable that they would be able to handle it in a smooth manner too.
I don't.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Davis.
Oh, is Cassidy Fritz still around? I don't.
No, he's retired, but somebody. So there's a person who she took his place. She's younger, but she's pretty bright.
Oh.
She was on my potential list for someone to talk to.
Okay, good, yeah.
I think her name's Collier. Her last name is Collier. Okay. She seems to, her filings are very clean. She seems to know what she's doing. So she was one person I thought of.
Okay.
Another person I thought of potentially was Shirley Gallant. I don't know if you know her, but she's a more experienced attorney that moved here from out of state, and she's been here a couple of years. And she really cares about the people she represents. So she might be somebody that might be worth talking to. Anyway, I have a couple of thoughts. So I'll run that down.
Do you know anybody who's bilingual?
Well, that was the other thing I was going to think about. If I knew somebody bilingual.
But I think Leroy Berry has retired. And he just lost his wife. We were at a viewing on Friday evening. So he's in the midst of grief.
Yeah, maybe you don't stink, Bren, but I bet you 97 stank because of a man for you.
Right at the moment. But he does have that bilingual capacity. And I don't know if he's let his license lapse or anything because it's been a while since he did.
So when you talked to Matt, did you think about, did Matt say he wasn't interested personally or the firm was interested? Because Salo at Sanders is bilingual.
Yeah, Salo is. And no, I think, now that I think of it, Matt was saying he was covered up. He had plenty of business to do, and this was not something he wanted to take on in addition to that, and I asked him, I think, about Salo, and I think he had asked Salo, and that wasn't going to work either. So,
well, I might ask him.
Oh, yeah, okay, there you go, sure. That's good.
Okay. Oh, so Elmer, go ahead.
I told my sister, my brother, I had interpreted, but I don't know. I bring on the day for she's good.
Well, I need somebody who's certified, like with the courts. Do you know if your interpreter is certified with the courts? If they are, that's fine, but we can also get Adrian here too.
Adrian
We
Hagley.
can't do it today.
Como yo no puedo estar ahí.
All right, so let's do this. Well, let me ask you this. So, any of the relatives, any of the siblings, do you have in mind anyone that you would pick to be an administrator for the estate? So somebody.
That's a question I would have asked 37 and a half minutes ago, Judge.
Who would represent the estate on behalf of everybody?
Me?
You would want yourself to be?
I'm sorry, Bren.
And then, so, okay.
What's that?
Elmer.
Habla pa. Nelly.
Carlos, you would too? For what?
No, yeah, he's my brother.
Okay.
Nelly.
You put Nelly.
You would vote for Nelly?
Yeah.
Nelly, would you do?
Yeah. Nelly.
Yes.
Okay, so we have, and that's for both of you two would vote for Nelly?
Yes. Yes.
And would you agree to do it, Nelly?
Yeah.
Elmer, would you work with Nelly?
Podemos trabajar juntos.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, tú también.
Yeah.
Okay, but then Nelly's gonna need. So Mr. Davis can't represent everybody without a lot of consents. And since his clients filed a claim, Nelly, you would need.
All right, we narrowed it down, guys. Carlos, the guy whispering right now, he hired that lawyer because they had to transport the body internationally and hold a second funeral, and he wants paid for it. So he hired this lawyer. This lawyer is Carlos's lawyer. Now, the judge said we can't have him be everybody's lawyer unless we get a whole bunch of consents. So I think he's about to tell everybody they need to go get their own lawyers.
Especially English not being your first language, you would need to hire an attorney if I were to appoint you.
And then there's the issue of bond, Judge.
Right, and then there's an issue of a bond.
Bond? Wait, what? Bond for what? This is definitely civil.
I know that in a supervised estate, generally speaking, there's a bond that needs to be posted. Probably you could put an order restrict.
Please, somebody tell me you know why they would have to post a bond. For what reason would the courts require them to pay them any amount of money? For what reason?
In the transfer of the real estate, and that might reduce the amount of bond that would be required. And I saw recently in Jim Sigmund's estate, which is supervised because there are so many charities that are getting money from that estate, that a $500 bond was considered to be okay for that. There are two sons. Jim Sigmund's sons are twins.
Yeah, but how does that stop it? How does somebody paying the court $500 stop anybody from taking any money before probate? That doesn't make sense. I mean, they can. The judge is going to appoint her, I think, to take control of the estate. So she can control who gets money and who doesn't. Why would anybody have to pay the court $500?
But I think, so far as this family is concerned, I want I want you to know that there are differences, significant differences, and a lot of them have to do with Jose, but it also has to do with the people who've been living in the house without actually paying rent or doing anything right now. So there are difficulties, I think, that I'm picking up that maybe make it better to have an independent administrator as opposed to somebody in the family. But, you know, we have Nellie volunteering and we have Elmer volunteering. So, Judge, you will make a decision about what seems to be best for this estate.
Peg Leg used to come in here all the time. He would be very helpful right now. But he's not here right now. Peg Leg, come back.
Elmer, I mean, if Nellie were the personal rep, would you agree to that?
Yeah, Bobby, go to school.
Like you talk about the state.
Yeah, that she'd represent the estate. She would make decisions about, so the personal representative is who decide, like who makes sure all the bills are paid, the claims are paid. She would have to work with you on coming up how to handle the house in order to make sure that the mortgage is taken care of and that the family comes to an agreement as to the equity in the home, whether or not you have to pay the other siblings back. You reach a family agreement, that's one thing, but without a family agreement, any equity in the home needs divided between everybody. If you've been living, like Mr. Davis has said in there, for the past year, basically rent-free, that's something that the estate should have to consider. And again, some of that might be, you know, your share or something like that out of the estate, but it needs at least dealt with. At least needs dealt with properly and openly, so it doesn't, so everybody understands what's happening. Okay, so it's just laid out.
You know what else we need in here? We need a baker, a professional baker in chat. Yeah.
And then some people can make some decisions from there. Based on what I'm hearing in court, though, if I were to appoint Nellie, she would need an attorney because I don't think she could do it without an attorney. If I appoint a third party, I would likely appoint an attorney.
I mean, think about it. Oh, guys, I was bored today, so I made you all muffins. Here you go, blueberry. Wouldn't that just be nice? Every once in a while to get a brownie thrown at us. Here you go. Here's a brownie for you. It's the corner piece that you like.
And that would be the issue. That would take care of it from that side. Each person can get an attorney of their own if they wanted, but at least I would know I'd have a neutral third party to oversee the estate. So those are kind of the two choices I have. But what I need to do is put something in place that moves this forward before there's nothing left. But before the house goes into foreclosure, which is going to make it harder for, if you want to stay there, for you to negotiate a deal with people. It's going to make it before any other assets are depleted from the estate. So we need to get things handled. Okay. So I guess let's do this. I think I need to take it under advisement, but let's set we can take the motion under advisement to appoint a personal rep. I'll consider what we've talked about today. I think what I'm likely to do is appoint a third party rep. However, if Nellie, if you were to, and Elmer, if you want to explain this to her later, you can. If she were to find an attorney, and all of the parties, including Carlos, can agree that Nellie should be the administrator, I would consider that subsequent motion, for some sort of successor personal rep. But in the meantime, I don't want to delay moving the estate forward.
can. We would destroy that person. That person would leave that profession so fast.
Because that's only going to lead to everything depleting. It never works out well if you let these things sit. So we got to move it forward. So I'm leaning toward some of the names that you and I that Mr. Davis and I talked about, some attorneys in town. We'll see what they have to say. But there'd be people that the court feels confident in, that they represent everybody. They represent the estate, which is their job. They wouldn't represent you individually, but they would be looking out for the collective. That I would feel comfortable that they're looking out for the best interest of the estate itself. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it under advisement. I'm going to make a decision. But what I want to do though is set this for a hearing. Well, I don't know if we need that.
I don't think I'm interested in part 2. I'm just absolutely confused at part 1.
I mean, there's not an easy way to handle this case.
Just for a review hearing?
Yeah, I want to set a review hearing and I want an interpreter here.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure everybody understands what's happening.
Wait,
So what if we?
wait, does that mean she doesn't need to hire a lawyer anymore? Because you are... Oh, Margaret. Yeah. You shouldn't just Google it. You should try to prepare one and eat it. They're very, very good.
Set a review hearing, and this will give time. If people want to lawyer up, they can. If people want to have a family meeting, they can. But it'll give time for the parties to do things without the court. So let's maybe set.
I don't want to say any more, and this is... A lot of you are not going to understand a word that I'm saying right now. But I do want to remind everybody who does understand. Monday's stream, you are to prepare something delicious if you remember what I'm talking about. I am not going to repeat it. But hopefully it's just not me. I think maybe Josh is going to be there to do what I told you to do for Monday's stream.
The review hearing 60 days from now. And I probably can't schedule that today, Mr. Davis, because I need to reach out to Adrian and see when he's available.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Because I'm going to have Adrian here.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty free in June, so
Okay.
that's.
Does that make sense, what we're trying to do, Elmer?
Oh. Yeah.
Ish. I mean, so what I'm going to do is probably appoint a third party personal representative to start. And then 60 days from now, try to get an interpreter here. So then we could have an interpreter so everybody can be more fully heard. But what I need to do though is get something in place so you could start paying that mortgage. So so that has to happen. So I'm going to probably appoint somebody and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because
All right. So let me ask you this. So there's a bank account. So who has access to your brother's bank account?
I got it.
All right. Well, so I want nobody to touch it until we figure out what's happening. Okay. Did you understand?
You say that mortgage for the house?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. But then there's a personal bank account with $32,000.
I don't got that.
Who has that?
I think his girlfriend.
All right. Was it a joint account or just his?
She's girlfriend. She's still living a Walter house right now.
All right. We need to get
She
her.
never married on this girlfriend for 25 years, I think.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing what Elmer's saying.
Girlfriend for 25 years
Yeah.
has access to the bank account.
Oh, she's, well, not on the 32,000. I mean, it was
Not, she doesn't have access to it.
well, she's not titled in it. That one.
All right. Well, she shouldn't be accessing any of his money. unless it's agreed to by all the parties.
Habla. Yes.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Somebody removed 15,000 to the Walter account. I don't know who.
So the 15,000, do you know what happened there?
I think Jose or Elmer. I don't know who.
Does anyone know what happened?
You need to ask him.
Well, that's something that's a discussion that family members can have. But I think all of you need to sit down and talk about it, about everything. Okay, so I'm going to appoint a personal rep. We'll have a review hearing in roughly 60 days once I find out Mr. Aguilar's schedule. Do I have, I guess what we need is everybody's best contact information so you get notice of when the next hearing is.
I'm gonna have everyone who's here in the courtroom let out, so I just need Mr. Carlos Ramirez and Mr. Alfredo. Adolfo, I'm so sorry, to give me their information.
All right, Carlos, I need you to
Yes.
provide. Oh, I mean, Mr. Davis is his attorney. I mean,
That's fine.
yeah, so we just need Adolfo's, right?
Yes.
Adolfo, what is your address information?
Su dirección 38297.
I'll give it to you if you want. See, so understand. It's 38297 Mariner Court. Pounded, California.
The same as Carlos?
Yeah, same as
Okay,
Carlos.
it's the same as your information, Carlos?
Yes.
Okay,
The same.
all right.
The same.
Judge, I drafted an order of personal representative with a blank in it, you know?
I'll take a look. Did you file it?
No, but I can see that it's done.
Yeah, can you,
I'll do that after we get back. Yeah.
I just need their contact information. Their best so they get notice of the hearings. I don't want anyone to miss out on the hearings. I mean, you can help them with that if you need to. So what I need is their best to have their information so we can make sure they know when the next hearing is.
And only provide an email if they want to receive email.
And by the way, only provide an email. If you provide an email, you won't get a written notice. You only get email.
Just put the number, he don't got email.
Yeah, then their address is fine.
Aquí está tu
I want Rice Krispie treats.
¿Y dónde viví? ¿Dónde vive usted? El número.
Pero
Sí. Por la ciudad. El estado. El estado de Indiana. De la
El otro corte va a ser junio 12. Ya te lo mando. Yo le dije 60 días de ahora.
Me lo ayuda.
No,
Fíjate que no te
está
¿Ah? La de la carta no me la. Lo hiciste todo con él. Si quieres poner otro nombre, tomando aquí lo puedas poner. The triste en black class. Sí, digo que no tiene grupo. Y el mundo. Oye.
lo paré. 3.
Ahí la dice de firmar, hermano.
Ahorita no está
So
en
where is the
dirección.
hometown in, Carlos, where is the hometown in El Salvador at?
Sultan.
Sulatan.
Sulatan?
Sultan, El Salvador.
Then near San Miguel or Santa Ana or?
Santa Elena.
Santa Elena.
Santa Elena. Santo Bajo la parroquia Santa Elena.
Carlos's son said it was in the mountains, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Spell that.
Punch, yeah.
It's about the
Punch.
third or fourth largest city
Okay.
in El Salvador.
Ya más grande el Salvador, sí.
Yes.
Yep.
There's a Pupuseria Santa Elena there. It's got a good Google review.
14 apartamentos.
Yeah.
Tiene buen Google.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have everybody's information? Ellie, do you want to go collect? Make sure we have everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelly, if you just take that, dip it in chocolate, and then like roll it in coconut, then you can have I'm not gonna say it right. Lamingtons, an Australian dessert. Lamingtons.
Nelly is at 2325 Stark Ave, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Nuria is 23 dash, is that 22S or 25?
This is St. Andrews, but Nelly.
On the Stark?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Because in Australia, some of you do put like jam in your lamingtons, right? Not just like cream or. So her strawberries would work, wouldn't it?
and Dilson's 1011, is it
Enter.
Lantern?
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is 402 non-constitutional.
I'm sorry, who was speaking here?
Elmer,
Okay, Elmer, you're 402 North, what is it?
Constitution, non-constitutional.
Constitution?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I think these have all been provided to you in the proofs of notice that we sent.
They're all in the proofs. Okay.
Well, they're not, yeah, they have different addresses listed in the party screen, so.
But they're different than the party screen.
Okay, thank you.
When I filed the petition, I thought many of these folks were going back to El Salvador, and we put in addresses, the same address as the father's address in El Salvador. But since then, I was advised that these folks are all living around here, you know. So we then sent additional notices out to them at the correct notices or correct addresses that Carlos provided to me. So.
All right. Well, these addresses we'll put in so you can get notice. We're going to schedule it. So if you do not hear something from the court in 2 weeks, call the court to make sure, because we should have something scheduled by then, a review hearing in 60 days. I will appoint a personal representative. In the meantime,
It's the same here. If you die here with no money, they bury you at, what is it called? Potter's grave? Is that what it's called here, guys? Potter's grave? I feel like I'm close, but I'm not right. Pauper's, is that what it's called? Pauper's grave? So there's like no headstones or anything like that, I don't think.
well, we'll go from there.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Davis?
I think that's the problem that needs to be solved, Judge. So
Yeah, I agree too. All right. Anything else from anybody else that you can think of? Okay. Carlos, are you good online?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll figure this out.
Thank you.
No.
You're good.
All right.
Thank you.
No. I am never going to figure this out. I am completely lost. Tried so hard. Potter's Field. See, I know as a child we called it Potter's Grave, but I know as children we get words mixed up. So I don't know if I ever knew the real word. We always called them Potter's Graves. But I don't know if I'm going to get part 2 of this case because it's just way too confusing. I was hopeful that the discussion in chat would answer every single question that I had, because you guys are really good with that. You guys are like, no, this is what happens here, and this is what. And I know that a lot of you tried very hard to answer some of my questions, but man, I don't understand what's going on with this whole case. So the father is still alive. I don't even know why the father just isn't taking care of it. You know what I mean? But that's, or there's usually like an older sister that takes control, you know, keeps the family together, is like the glue, but not Elmer's. Thanks, Fee. I mean, Popper would make complete sense if someone calls it a Popper's Field or a Popper's Grave, because that makes a lot of sense. So, and you know, maybe in different parts of the country it's called something different too. Who knows? I only know. I grew up in Pennsylvania. That's all I speak, you know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out today. I really appreciate it. No stream tomorrow morning, but we are going to stream tomorrow night. And it'll be great. It'll be epic. Bye, guys.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song the chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcome and play. I can count on distraction from my pain, 'cause this creator takes you there and back again. Kathy is the heart here, always in stride. Her work is hard, but her joy she can't hide. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy, she's always top shelf. Don't take my word, come and see for yourself. Her cases are new with a twist or two. I really like them, I believe you will too. A little lifeline passed along in rhyme. Why don't you join us? It's a guaranteed good time. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcoming place. And so in conclusion, I'll wrap up this song. I hope I didn't miss anything that would be wrong. Hope I see you around. Don't stay on the shelf, join in the laughter. Come and see for